Well, hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the new Tivoli here in Aachen, right on the western extremity of Germany. Today's visitors for Alemannia Aachen are the powerhouse this season. It appears to be 1860 Munich, 2,000 travelling fans coming up from Bavaria for this one. What is sure to be an atmospheric match here this afternoon. Alemannia Aachen not making the best of starts to their season. 3 changes made by new coach Benedetto Musicato, with Lamar Yarbrough out suspended after picking up 2 yellows in their defeat against Hoffenheim 2 weeks ago. Joel de Tilde Kiala comes in for his first start in a back 3. Fabio Torsiello also makes his first start in Aachen colours in place of Kwasi Wright, who drops to the bench up top. Paton Ademi as well comes in a wide midfield position. Sasa Strijic also dropping to the bench. Meanwhile, 1860 Munich, no such problems for Patrick Glöckner. Dilauern making precisely no changes from the side that eased past Osnabrück 3-1 at the Grunwalder Stadion 2 weeks ago. The fantastic 3 still intact up top, with Kevin Volland tucking in just behind Sigurd Hagen and Florian Niederlechner. High-powered front 3 indeed at Dritte Liga level. Well, the sun is out for the travelling fans there. So just about 2,000 or so in this lovely old stadium here in the West Rhine-Westphalia region, right on the Dutch border, actually very close to Luxembourg as well down here. We're about as far south on the German-Dutch border as you can go, in fact. The problems with injuries still looming large for Alemannia Aachen. They only had 5 outfield players on the bench last week, only 6 this week. And that only because Florian Heister, the 28-year-old midfielder who missed the start of the season with a calf injury, is good enough to start on the bench today. Was a regular starter last season, no doubt. Musicato would like to get him back and full of running sooner rather than later. Also very fortunate the likes of Jeremias Lorch recovered from a knock he picked up 2 weeks ago to really anchor that back 3 for Aachen. Dilauern, as you can see, they're in their change strip today, dark blue against the yellow and black, of course, of the Potato Beetles. What a great day for the mascots, just having a smile and a wave at the family waiting for them in the stands, and there's time for a quick high five and a fist pump then between the teams and officials. What quality they have up front this season. 1860 Munich. Florian Niederlechner, well, regular at Freiburg and Augsburg in the Bundesliga, just a couple of seasons ago. Dropped down into the Bundesliga too with Hertha Berlin. 6 goals from just 13 starts last season. Dr. Robert Kampke then, our man in the middle for this one. Asmir Osmanagic and Stephen Greif. The men with the flags there. Christian Ryszkowski, our 4th official, looking after the technical area this afternoon. Well, the soaring temperatures of the first couple of match days appear to have just calmed down a little bit in this neck of the woods. I'm sure the players will be happy for that, give them a bit of extra energy. And certainly the high press that Aachen will try and effect on this 1860 side will be all the better for a bit of extra energy. So many players out at the moment. Club captain Mika Hanraths tore some muscles in the off-season. He'll be back after the winter break. Valmir Suleimani, well, he missed the start of the season as well. having picked up 5 goals in 14 games after coming here from Hanover back in February. Baxter Barn as well, out with a torn muscle, hasn't kicked a ball so far this term. Very much a linchpin of that midfield last season. So up against it, Aachen, one of the smaller budgets in the division, certainly, especially when compared to 1860 Munich, who are really splashing the cash this term in an effort to finally, perhaps, move up to the Bundesliga too. They've certainly made a good start to the campaign. A very decent draw away to one of the promotion favourites, Rot-Weiss Essen, on the opening match day, and just swatted Osnabrück aside 2 weeks ago on match day too. What are they going to do here against Aachen? I suspect the first goal, as ever, will be absolutely vital. I don't think Aachen can really afford to go down a goal early against this 1860 side. They will get absolutely ripped apart on the counter-attack if they're not careful. And the likes of Volland, Niederlechner and Sigurd Haugen, of course, scored plenty of goals last term as well. Having been loaned out to Hansa Rostock last term, 10 goals there, moving here permanently in the summer. Take part in this attacking triumvirate. I mean, the like of Patrick Hopsch, who really, he starts in pretty much any other team in the Dritte Liga, can only get on the bench at this early start of the season, the 30-year-old. 11 goals, 5 assists last term. Demoted to the bench at the start of this campaign. And there, Dr. Robert gets us underway then in the Aachen sunshine. The Potato Beetles, the home side, attacking the goal on our right here in the first half. Lucas Skepanik immediately here, about to try and wind up a long throw into the area in the first minute. The long throw becoming very fashionable. Didn't get particularly good length on that one. Better with the cross into the back post. Good punch from the goalkeeper. And then blazed into the crowd behind the goal. Well, firm goalkeeping there from Thomas Dehner. It was Felix Meyer there with the shot from, what, 30, 35 metres out. Dehner gets us back underway. 1860 trying to play this short out of the back. Try and play through the press, then the long ball over the top. Too much on that, though, and straight through. It's Jan Olszewski. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Between the sticks again today for Aachen. Here on loan from Borussia Mönchengladbach is Olszewski. Delicate play out the back there from Villart. But Aachen back on the attack again here. Gaudinho sizes one up, tried to curl that into the far corner. Well, it looked like there was a deflection. Sorry, Ademi it was. Making his first start. What a stop that would have been. It was Gaudinho actually with the setup there. Certainly looked like there was a deflection from the original angle we saw. Didn't see much from that replay, unfortunately. Bright start, though, for the team in yellow. Pitch is looking good as well. Ooh, a little bit slow with the clearance there. That's well played from Ademi, forcing the throw for Aachen. Simon Vert, the Belgian defender, another summer signing for 1860, just a little bit lax and sloppy in possession. Now Skepanik will hope to get hold of this throw a little bit better than his first effort, which barely reached the edge of the area. A little bit of a bumping and boring there at the near post. He's going to try and get this, you would think, try and get it just to the edge of that 6-yard box. It could be a feint as well. Better from Skepanik. Lobbed back into the area, headed away, helped on. Now 1860 can maybe do something with the ball. Niederlechner held the ball up beautifully there. Just using his experience, the 34-year-old. Number 7 this season for 1860. Lart pings the ball over to this left-hand side, now looking down the channel. Cleared away for an 1860 throw. Manuel Pfeiffer gets the ball back in play, goes the safe route back to Lart. 1860 Munich, just looking a little bit jittery in these early stages on the ball. And yeah, Launch there, just trying to use his body to ease his opponent off the ball. Didn't get close enough to the ball himself though. Ended up just being a straight up body check. The two back threes against each other. The battle of the wing backs is going to be, of course, all important. The team on top can push those wing backs up into midfield. The team on the back foot end up with a back five. 1860 yet to get their passing to get going at the moment. Long ball out, easily cut out. Damer couldn't quite bring that one under control, but they've won the ball back again in a high up the pitch, but a negative pass there all the way back over the halfway line. It was balls well won back, but the possibility of a strong attacking platform there rather given away. Instead, playing their way through. Lart though cuts in front of his man, clears the ball down into the channel. Niederlechner couldn't quite get there ahead of his man. Well, flicked on, but Lart's going to tidy up the loose ball here. Rather skied his clearance though, straight up into the air. Lucas Skepinik looks like he's starting off on the right-hand side of midfield. One of those players that Aachen will want to get as high up the pitch as possible. Again, loose ball out from the back from 1860, gobbled up by the Aachen midfield. Galdino, lovely player, the Aachen number 10. Silky smooth in possession. Good eye for a pass as well. That long ball over the top. Just a bit too far ahead of Wagner. Oh, a nice little triangle there. 1860 playing their way out of trouble. Almost playing themselves back into trouble again as well. And again, losing out. Galdino now with a chance to run at this 1860 back three. Delawan back in numbers. Nice little layoff there on the edge of the area. First touch, though, a little bit loose. And the ball scrambled clear by the away side. Aachen posing all the questions in the opening 7 minutes here at the New Tivoli. Good stretch on halfway from the new man, Da Silva Chiala. Here from Eintracht Frankfurt to in the summer. Substitute the first 2 days of the season. Today enjoying his first start. Now Skepinik looks up, finds space over on that left-hand side. Nice ball back across the goal. Cleared away though from the penalty spot by Wirth. More pressure, another ball into the area, half headed away. It's going to be coming straight back into the area though. Lorch picks up on the ball and it's not been cleared, and the ball taking a deflection there in the first corner of the game coming up for the Potato Beetles. 1860. On the back foot in this early part of the match. Lorch with the ball in. Verlaat stepping across, trying to make the intercept. Can only put the ball out for another corner. Oh, sorry, first corner of the match. Matty Wagner goes over to take this one. 5 men in and around the 6-yard box, 2 more on the edge of the area as well. Plenty of men up for this set piece. Delivery goes to the back post, headed back across goal, but just couldn't quite get the right connection on that one, Ademi. Really should have been hiding that one back across goal. It's got the angle slightly wrong. But it's straight out for a goal kick. 1860 shown they want to play short again. Dana goes long, flicked on. And Niederlechner with a bit of pressure there. Tried the early quick throw for Volland. It's much vaunted Munich front three, unable to get into the game at the moment. Long ball into the channel, just a little bit too much on that, straight through to Dana. No chance for Torsiello to latch onto the back of that one. Oh, Dana goes with the long throw straight down the pipe. Flicked on by Niederlechner, but Haugen unable to pick up the pieces. And again, ball falls to the team in yellow. Meyer just pops it back to Olszewski. Oh, and in the end, all that faffing around on the ball, he just pinged it straight out of play there. Opportunity now for 1860, trying to keep the pace up in the attacking third, but that ball's been passed around Kevin Vond, and now a chance for Gaudinho to show his skills, nearly putting that one through, but Verlaat anticipated nicely at the back there, the 1860 captain. Gaudinho dropping deep, looking for that ball in behind Verlaat. The keeper comes off his line. I think he's just been clipped there by Torsiello, accidentally. Let's have a look here. Bit casual from Torsiello. Dana will be fine though, obviously. Great atmosphere being kicked up by both sets of fans in this first half. Blatant shove in the back. Sean Dulwich, I think it was. Now Skepanik, nice ball into the channel. Torsiello looks up. He's got Verlaat in front of him, tries to drive the ball across the 6-yard box, straight into the hands of Dana. That's going to be a worry for 1860. Gaudinho finding the space on the edges of that back three. On ball over the top, Lorch just about trying to deal with Niederlechner, who now putting pressure on Meyer, who eventually has an attempted clearance deflected behind for a goal kick, but Niederlechner really putting the pressure on the back three there, both Lorch and Meyer feeling the heat. But really just a simple ball over the top. The 1860 midfield yet really to get a grip of this game. Tore Jakobsen tonight, Deniz, the latter especially, Deniz has been superb in the opening 2 games this season. So neat and tidy, stitching things together in midfield, the 31-year-old. Been rather swamped though in the opening 13 minutes here at the New Tivoli. Long ball again out of the back, but Torsiello having to check his run, the ball coming through just a little bit late. And Ademi rather, unable to get there. Dana throws the ball quickly out. Vert trying to find Haugen, the Norwegian striker, not quite able to find his touch. Kevin Volland, I don't think has he even had a touch yet, the number 31. Actually an 1860 youth product is Kevin Volland before moving off to pastures new. Of course had a number of great years with Hoffenheim, then moved on to Bayer Leverkusen as well. 15 caps for the German national side as well, just the one goal though. Rather unfortunate, I think, Volland, that came along rather in a bit of a golden period for German football. Effectively, he was probably fighting for a place in the national side with the likes of Müller. Thomas Müller, that is. Another famous Bavarian. Rather sewed up that spot in behind the strikers for what, 10, 15 years? Anyway, 15 minutes in, first attacking set piece here for 1860. Looks like Denis might have a stab at this. In fact, it is Denis who floats the ball in, headed away by Lorch from the just next to the penalty spot. The shot comes in. And blazed well wide, didn't it? So, 1860, just trying to get a foothold in the game here. Aachen dominating the early exchanges. On home turf, of course. Patrick Glöckner, certainly by Drita Liga standards, in a rather privileged position, a deep squad. Some real quality to call on as well at both ends of the pitch, all parts of the pitch rather. Pfeiffer tries to put that one in behind, but Volland had just dropped short. I think may have just popped into an offside position, hence why he was heading back towards the ball as it was popped over the top. Aachen's flurry of attacks in the opening 10 minutes just seemed to have petered out for the moment. Another long ball over the top from Olszewski, straight through to his opposite number. I've got to say, opening 10 minutes or so, Aachen were just getting Gaudinho on the ball a bit more. Certainly makes a difference with the quality of balls coming through the midfield, rather than simply blasting it straight over the top. Nice layoff. Now maybe an opportunity, but Niederlechner just had the ball taken off his toes, and now an opportunity here for Aachen, and they can find the right pass. Lovely ball there through for Ademi. Ademi puts the ball back across the 6-yard box, but there's no one at the front post. And that's easy enough for Dana. Flick on, not quite into the wheelhouse of Niederlechner. So Niederlechner has shown up a bit, but Haugen and Volland barely had a touch, or even a sniff of a touch in the early stages. Danhoff doing well to anticipate the ball through. Well cut out. And the flag stays down here on Niederlechner. Niederlechner tries to cut inside. Well defended though by Silva Kiala. Looks like Mark Richter just took a little knock there. As Launcher wanders over. This is the opportunity a few moments ago. Not easy to wrap your foot round the ball from there. Lovely ball between the two 1860 defenders. Villard just covering things on the edge of the area. Torsiello with a slightly frustrated push there on Simon Wirth. Arrival from Slovan Bratislava in the summer. There's the Belgian centre-back, just playing on the left-hand side of that back three. And he's been caught in possession there by Ademi for the second time in the game already. Ademi cuts inside, but good play there from Jakobsen, dropping back from midfield, helping out his defence. Now Skepanik gets the ball in midfield, tries to find space over on that left-hand side. Now the ball drifted into the edge of the area, headed up rather than away by Wirth. And on the volley was Gaudinho, didn't quite catch that. Ademi with a little, well, wasn't a push in, looked like it might have been a push in the back, but the offside flag goes up anyway against the number 36. With Dana. Clears that one long with his left foot, flicked on by Pfeiffer, and now an opportunity for Volland to get in behind Lorch. Volland looks up, cuts back inside. Lorch, though, the stronger man on this occasion. Ball over the top, looking for Torsiello. Flag goes up. Definitely Aachen looking for space in behind this back three. He seemed to feel that they've got some pace to get in behind there. Ademi certainly giving Simon Wirth all sorts of problems on the 1860 left. But they are seeing a lot more of the ball now in the last 10 minutes or so, the visiting side. Not a good sign for Aachen. Nicely spread over to the right-hand side, back in. Niederlechner, who's really shown some great movement in the early part of the game, driven cross-field ball. The loose touch from Skepanik, picked up. Now Volland pulls the trigger, well blocked those by De Silva Kiala. Cross-field ball was hard driven, miscontrolled by Skepanik, who's, say, more of an attacking player than a defensive wing-back. It was Pfeiffer that pounced on the loose ball. Now an attacking opportunity here for the Lions. Winding up for the long throw as Tunaiden is here. That is a better one, onto the edge of the 6-yard box, flicked up, then handed away. Rebound picked up by Danhoff, his shot deflects. Skepanik with a complete miscue, very lucky that that ball went to a yellow shirt all the way across his own penalty area. Now Niederlechner just popped that one over the top, but Haugen had made his run peeling off to this near side. A little bit surprised that of that front three, Niederlechner, the elder statesman at 34, but he's the man who seems to be dropping deep and providing the movement at the moment. Trying to make space for Volland and Haugen to make their runs in behind. Hasn't quite clicked yet. Meanwhile, Aachen, I think, need to get Gaudinho back on the ball again, as they were in the early stages. Very much the passing hub of the side, but again they go long. And Villat easily heads that one away. Deniz tries to find space in the channel, but that's easily cleared by Meyer. Just past the midway stage of this first half. Not much in the way of chances here at the New Tivoli so far. Aachen threatening, certainly in the opening 10 minutes or so. They've on the attack again here. Gaudinho in a more attacking position. Nice little ball off to his left. The ball driven across goal, but the shot in the end straight at Thomas Dana. Damie again, this time popping up on the left-hand side. He's been very good at finding those gaps just on the outside of the back three on both sides of the pitch so far. I think, inarguably, Aachen's most dangerous player in the opening quarter of the match. You can see 1860 just trying to cut off the supply line for Aachen wherever Gaudinho drops to. There's always someone in his face there for the away side. So he was seeing plenty of the ball early in the game. He's been that supply has been shut off though. Ball inside Villat. Getting in there twice. Ball helped on by Jakobsen. Now back over the top. Just a little bit too much on it. Straight through to Dana. Looking for space. Down the edges. Nice layoff there, and Gaudinho's managed to get him behind his man. Opportunity here for Aachen. Gaudinho, though, well tackled by Dulic. Just about stops the ball going out for a corner. Deniz is down there as well. Now Jakobsen. Got an Aachen player down just on the edge of the centre circle. The ball eventually put out sportingly by 1860. Torciello, I think. That's never good. Feeling the back of the knee. Just pray it's not ligaments. Actually looks like he's pressing down just on that front inside. Hopefully just a knock, nothing more serious for Aachen. The last thing they need now is even more injuries. So Mika Hanraths, Velmir Suleimani, Baxter Barn all out of action early in this season. Lorch only just back from injury as well. Lucky, in fact, they had a week off for the cup. Florian Heister only back in the squad on the bench for the first time this season after starting the season with a calf injury as well. So, as I say, they don't have a lot of substitutes. Kwasi Wright, the former Ghanaian international, probably the favourite to come on for Torciello if he can't carry on. Looks like he's moving fairly fluidly there, though, so I think Benedetto Musicato probably breathe a huge sigh of relief. Well, I say he's moving fluidly. I'm not entirely certain, actually. Doesn't look like the Aachen bench are thinking of making a substitution here. I want to get Torciello back on the pitch as quickly as possible. A layoff from Ademi, not quite anticipated by Richter. He manages to force a throw though. Good pressing from Aachen we've seen in this first half when they have the chance. They have made a habit of winning the ball up quite high up the pitch at times. Nearly on the half-hour mark. A bit of extra vim and vigour from the home fans there. Well, they had over 20,000 in here 2 weeks ago for the defeat against Hoffenheim. I suspect the crowd are somewhat larger this afternoon. We'll find out in the second half. 33,000 this place holds in total. I'd imagine though 1860 be a bigger draw from the Hoffenheim reserve side. And certainly have brought more fans with them. Mr. Silva Kiala gives away a foul in the centre circle. Looked like he climbed well to win the header there against Kevin Volland. Just using his experience to draw a free kick. You suspect the former German international. All mopped up in midfield by 1860. Pfeiffer though, his ball inside rather telegraphed. Gaudino popping up on this near side now. Skepanik digging a nice ball out for the goalkeeper. He's under pressure there on this near side, the number 7. Oh, nice layoff. And then well won in midfield by Jakobsen, and now an opportunity on the counter-attack. Haugen into space for the first time in the game, faced by Meyer. Haugen can't find the cross and then loses his balance. And maybe a chance on the counter here for Aachen. Many yellow shirts are coming forwards here. Richter feeds the ball to Lorch. Lorch can come forward. Scored 5 goals last season, did the centre-back. Has a pop from distance, and that was well struck. But straight into the chest of Dana. Lorch not afraid to pull the trigger. Those 5 goals for Victoria Cologne last term. 3 assists as well. Not bad for a centre-back, good production. We're not talking about penalties either. He certainly struck that one well from, what, 30 metres out. Pfeiffer under pressure from Skepanik. The ball half deflects up. Gaudino in there trying to win it. Torsiello does get the ball. Half-hearted shouts for a penalty, but only really from the fans, not the players. Skepanik gets the ball to Gaudino. A little bit behind the midfielder, though. But he does well to win the ball there. Now he looks up at number 10, pulls the ball back into Skepanik, and he just drifts that one over the crossbar. Well, they struggled to make chances in the first half, Aachen. That arguably one of their better chances. Great work from Gaudino. Thought he'd lost the ball. Here, really should have just been cleared by Denis, but he faffed around, was eased off the ball far too easily. Goes over like a newborn foal. Skepanik just couldn't quite get the contact he wanted. Lorch certainly got the contact he wanted on that strike from distance, but good positioning from the goalkeeper for that one. Much the busier of the 2 men in gloves, though. Thomas Dana, Olszewski hasn't had a shot as such to save. At the closest 1860 have come in the game. Niederlechner. So that was a replay. I think we were looking at the wrong part of the pitch there. So as Aachen threaten, 1860 suddenly go close as well. Quickly taken free kick. The defence perhaps slightly sleepy there. Niederlechner. You can't take your eye off him for a moment. He has looked hungry. The 1860 number 7. Now plenty of blue shirts up in the area for this corner. Headed away by Lorch. Lobbed back in. Villar heads it back across goal and headed on there, and the flag goes up. Not sure if Villar was offside or not, but certainly Haugen was. Here's the 1860 captain just trying to pick out the 1860 striker. Poor ball down the line from Matti Wagner. Niederlechner trying to get a little flick on that one, but instead it's Lorch. Then the shot comes in from distance again, this time from Mark Richter. 23-year-old though, just leaning back on that one a little bit. All the fans, they packed in here today. Still the summer holidays for many people, of course. A bit of extra time to indulge in your hobbies, especially if it happens to be watching football. All over the top, Villar. So distinctive with that mop of curly hair. Deals with that. Dana puts the ball back out. Gets it straight back from Danhoff. This time goes long. Over halfway, but easy for Lorch to deal with. Dennis just trying to flick that one round the corner. Jakobsen then picks up the loose ball in midfield. Gets the ball again. Opportunity here, but the ball just a little bit scragged, and Skepanik able to deal with it. I think the offside flag had gone up anyway. 1860 won't mind seeing Skepanik that deep. It's exactly where they want the player ostensibly playing as a right midfielder here, but say with the back three in place, he can get pushed back into more of a wing-back position if he's not careful. Say though, I think we've seen more of Skepanik than we have of Manuel Pfeiffer, the number 27 for 1860, who's really struggled to come forwards in this first half so far. And for that matter, Tim Danhoff over on the right flank as well, as also spent most of his time defending, making it a back four or a back five. When that happens, of course, 1860 end up short of numbers in midfield. So of the three front men for 1860, I mean, Volland and Niederlechner have a combined age of 67, so I'm not sure how much of a press you're going to get from your front three with this particular formation for 1860. Things may, of course, evolve through the campaign. Oh, the flag which took a bit of a beating earlier when Gaudinho fought so valiantly for the ball in that corner has finally been fixed. It got absolutely flattened by Denis, didn't it? Oh, long ball again from 1860, just about dealt with, but then Skepanik picks up the loose ball. Still Skepanik here. Thought about teeing one up, instead gets the ball to Gaudinho. He does pull the trigger, but the number 10 just leaning back on that one as well. Floating that one over, and I think wide as well. Driven long. Loose ball out of the back, goes straight out for an 1860 throw. I think fair to say, I mean, Aachen have managed to disrupt 1860 very effectively in this first half. created a few half chances, but no more than that. 1860, though, I do think they have been quite disappointing in this first period. Now Jakobsen goes past two challenges there, eventually goes down. In fact, the foul given for the first of those challenges. Gaudinho just beaten by a little bit of skill. Given a yellow card, that seems, I must say, if he was given the yellow card for that, looked weak. He'd be very disappointed to get a yellow card, and hence the look on Gaudinho's face. That's not a yellow card, surely. Well, second booking in 3 matches for the number 10. Say, I mean, there's not a lot in that challenge. Anyway, Villar tries to head that one back across goal. Lorch heads it away. Villar again. Smash clear this time by De Silva Chiala. Now an opportunity maybe for Torciello to use his pace. The keeper's going to have to come out of his area. Just gets there ahead of Torciello, does Dana. Well, I thought the header back may have sold the keeper a little bit short. He did well, though, to react. He had to come out of his area to deal with that situation, though. Confirmation of Gaudinho picking up the first booking of the game. Kevin Volland just having a little limp here. This is just a long ball over the top. Jakobsen with the header didn't get enough on it. And in the end, very cool, calm and collected Thomas Dana, 31 years of age. A reminder, Dana as well, another one with plenty of Bundesliga experience. He was in fact the man between the sticks for Holstein Kiel for the last 8 games of last season. A season of which, of course, they did relegate back down to Bundesliga 2, but still. Feel that Dana, and slightly sloppy in midfield. Lucky to get away with that one, Aachen. Niederlechner staying down for a moment. And then Gaudinho clipped by Denis. You have to say, if the challenge that Gaudinho got a yellow card for was indeed a booking, yes, Denis also picking up yellow. It was the earlier challenge which 1860 wanted a foul for, nothing given by the referee, clearly. First booking of the campaign then for the Munich midfielder. If they're going to get the best out of their attacking riches, De Lauwen, then they are going to need that midfield to be rock solid. They've been struggling to get in the game so far, though. And now they want the ball high up, and Haugen gets in behind, uses his strength. He's got support inside. Haugen couldn't quite find the ball. Niederlechner was clear by the penalty spot. No one near him. Great defending there coming across from De Silva Chiala. Made a couple of important interceptions in this first half, already in his first start for the Potato Beetles. Just timed his run across perfectly. He knew he was leaving Niederlechner alone, but he had to come across. Felix Meyer didn't have the pace to get back, but it's still going to be a corner now for 1860. Plenty of blue shirts to aim at, and that Niederlechner going for the bicycle kick. Got the timing wrong. Just wonder if, as the game perhaps opens up in the second half, this 1860 front three, if they're still on the pitch, that is, of course, may start to find a little bit more space to operate in. going short. Is going to be pumped up the pitch though by Olszewski. Skepanik does well to flick that one on, headed away by Vert. Haugen tries to turn away from De Silva Kiala. Number 37 for Aachen, been quite adhesive at the back so far. Dulic was creating a bit of space there. The referee waving play on a loose pass at the back though. Volland is popping that one back to Vert, and he goes all the way back to Dana. It's going to be some adjustment, you have to say, for Niederlechner and Volland. They're used to playing at a higher level, surrounded by, well, let's be honest, better players in the Bundesliga, especially in the Bundesliga, also Bundesliga 2 as well. We've seen that the gap between the Bundesliga 2 and the Dritte Liga seems to be widening. Very difficult last season for the teams that went up. The season before last, 3 teams went up, 2 of them came straight back down, and only Preußen Münster avoided making it all 3 in the bottom 3 places with a strong run at the end of the season, leaving Eintracht Braunschweig to beat Saarbrücken in their playoff to preserve their status in the second tier. You wonder if perhaps the sides that went up last term, Dynamo Dresden, Arminia Bielefeld, 2 sides with a bigger budget. There's 2 minutes of added time to be played at the end of this first half. But say, the likes of Dresden and Bielefeld, well, we saw how good Bielefeld were in the cup last season. Of course, they won the Dritte Liga. They went through to the final, of course, the DFB Pokal. Rather outclassed by Stuttgart on the day, but certainly made a fist of it in the second half after a rather miserable first 45. Dynamo Dresden, of course, have that huge fan base as well. Certainly by Dritte Liga standards are one of the richer sides, but you won't have that advantage up in the Bundesliga too. Just those 2 going up, of course. Saarbrücken losing the promotion playoff. Losing at home, in fact, in the first leg. That didn't help. It was all but over before they went back to Braunschweig for the second leg of that one. Skepanik just closing Volland down. He tries to get the ball back in play quickly. Couldn't quite get the throw in behind for Niederlechner. Pfeiffer thinks about taking the throw, but looks like Deniz is going to come across and try and fling this one long into the area. There's 30 seconds left in this first half, so I suppose it's almost like just trying to blag a last set piece. Just cheats a few extra metres as well from where the ball went out, the number 36. Every little helps. Good ball into the front post, headed away by Skepanik. Torsiello gets a head on there as well. Everyone behind the ball for Aachen. And Niederlechner, I think, just wandering offside on that far side. Yeah, flag up quickly from the linesman. And Dr. Robert Kampke brings the first half to a close here then at the new Tivoli. Host Alemannia Aachen starting off brightly the first 10-15 minutes. So 1860 slow to get going, but starting to push their own agenda onto the game a bit more. That front 3 though, Niederlechner, Volland and Haugen, mostly kept quiet in the opening 45. At half-time here at the new Rivoli, it's Alemannia Aachen 0, 1860 Munich 0. Welcome back then to the new Tivoli here as Alemannia Aachen play host to 1860 Munich on match day 3 here in the German Dritte Liga. Certainly in the first 45, Aachen certainly the better side, the high-powered front three of 1860 Munich failing really to play their way into the game, at least thus far. Remember, this is the same front three: Kevin Volland, Sigurd Haugen and Florian Niederlechner, that each scored a goal in the opening 50-odd minutes of their game last week against Osnabrück. There they are there. Can they leave their mark on the second half, I wonder? Need a bit more help from the midfield, you have to say, though, of 1860. Likes of Gaudino and Weber rather ruling the roost in the opening 45. Dana goes long, first up at the beginning of this second half. The ball picked up by Dennis in midfield, has the shot at goal. Always rising, but not that far off. It was a long way out, though, a good 30 metres. Perhaps a statement of intent there. Tunay Deniz. Quite sure what the referee was whistling for there. Quickly cleared on. Skepanik goes down looking for a free kick, gets nothing. Jakobsen picks up the ball in midfield, spreads it to Dan Hoff on this near side. Loose ball into midfield. Skepanik plays it down the right for Ademi, who started brightly but rather faded in that first half. 19-year-old Kosovan hope to leave a rather longer indelible mark on this second period. Wins a free kick. Jakobsen just trying to do his job there. Now Matti Wagner goes over to take this one. This will be the in-swinger. He's going to drop this, somewhere near the penalty spot, you have to think, looking at where the defensive line is starting. Yeah, about the penalty spot. Only the 4 players actually leading the line there. The second bank of 4, though, going to be on the follow-up. Nice ball in, flicked onto the back post. And the referee says goal kick. Mark Rechter tries to argue the point, but gets nowhere. Did well to win the ball there. Now an opportunity maybe. Trying to get the ball down the channel for Niederlechner to chase. Meyer, though, does well. Twists and turns and digs a good clearance out there to find Skepanik as well. Now the ball over the top, headed away by Velat under pressure from Torsiello. Aachen beaten here 4-2 by Hoffenheim 2 weeks ago in the second match day. Just wondering how good that Hoffenheim team is, you know. I know they only drew at home to have Elsa on the opening day, a disappointing 0-0 there, but say winning 4-2 at Aachen, who were one of the very best defensive units in the league last season. And, they're also currently 3-0 up at home to Niki Koppers, who are certainly should be one of the strongest sides in the Dritte Liga. As well, Haugen eased away from the ball. I think Kolchowski was rather hoping it would go out of play. Turned round the corner by Wagner, but mopped up by Jakobsen, not for the first time in the centre of that Lions midfield. Loose ball inside from Dulic. Too much on that ball out of the back though. No chance at all Cielo to chase that one down. Closes down Villar. Dulic now back to Dana again. Dana eventually goes long towards the centre circle. Good strong play from Niederlechner. Now Dan Hoff. Good ball inside for Haugen, who rather overran it. Did well to get any sort of a pass on that one, did the Norwegian striker, but Dan Hoff unable to latch on to the return pass. 1860 seeing a lot more of the ball at the start of this second half than they did at the start of the first, where they were being pretty much run off their feet that opening 10-15 minutes or so. Aachen, say, the better side in that first half, but you couldn't say they deserved to have a goal. They just simply didn't create the necessary chances. Haugen, I think, just caught offside. The home fans on their feet for a moment there as Aachen won the ball high up the pitch. Quickly snuffed out though. And say for all their possession, they haven't really asked enough questions at the back of this Munich back three. The referee just being a little fussy perhaps with where that throw-in had to be taken from. Players of course will take liberties if they can. Well, De Silva Kiala's run out of the back. It was rather snuffed out, and now there's an opportunity here. Niederlechner in space, puts a good ball into the area, just a little bit too much on it. Haugen couldn't quite get there. Flashpoint of danger though for Aachen at the back. And again, it's that gap round the outside of the back three, isn't it, that's causing problems, I think, at both ends of the pitch, both back threes. Coughing up space there. Dulic doing well to win the ball high up, and there's a little bit of pressure there. Lorch, though, sorry, Gaudinho keeping his calm. Wagner cuts inside, and eventually the ball prodded back to Olszewski. Has to move the ball on quickly to De Silva. Chance to turn now. Spreads the ball onto Gaudinho on this near side. He's got Matti Wagner outside. Now here is Wagner on the ball. Running at Dan Hoff. The two wing-backs face to face. And the rebound unlucky really for Wagner. Ball rebounding off his opponent, back into him and then out for the what he was hoping for a corner. Turned out to be the goal kick. Even more unfortunate because that looked like it was clearly the last contact off of Dan Hoff, but even if there was VAR, I wouldn't be looking at that. Lorch a commanding presence at the back. Niederlechner goes down on halfway, the challenge coming in from De Silva. Golan, centre back, felt he was just winning the ball. Just made a back for him, didn't he? Now the news around the grounds, by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, well worth checking out the highlights from last night's absolute barnstormer at Ferhen Wiesbaden, where Rot-Weiss eventually emerged with a 4-3 win, and now Aachen on the attack here. Torsiello Takes one too many touches, eventually goes down. There's been a free kick given just on the edge of the area. The Aachen players say it was a penalty, but I think it's going to be given for the first contact, which was clearly outside the box. Well, I say clearly, it's pretty close. It's Yellow and Verlaat, it is that appear to have collided. Signal there that Torsiello doesn't need it. I mean, is that even a foul? He's gone to kick the ball, and he's kicked Verlaat's outstretched leg instead. Well, that's a strange one. I've got to say, looking at the replay, I'm not convinced that's a foul at all, but if they have given the foul, it looks like the contact was actually inside the area. But it looks like Verlaat's put his foot across to try and block the shot, and had his leg kicked. I think he also missed the ball, so a tricky one for the officials. Looks like Verlaat took a right old whack on the Achilles. You can see the signal there from Torsiello and Richter saying we don't need the medic here. Niederlechner picks up a yellow card for his remonstrations with the referee. I've got to say, I think he's got a point in that. Of course, we get the replay, not the... another yellow card this time for... So it looks like Verlaat has been booked for being kicked, as far as I can tell. Slightly strange one from Dr. Camper. I must say, feels a bit harsh on the 1860 captain. Have another look here. Gets in behind. Now where's the... He's put his foot out to try and block the shot. That is the back of his leg kicked, Verlaat. Now, the question would be, I think the referee will be saying that that was denying the 1860 player the chance to actually take the shot because his leg got in the way. So that's where the foul came from. I do think a yellow card is harsh. But all sorts of options here. Skepanik, see this left-footed, I'm sure, into the top right as he's looking at it. Gaudino as well can curl this one, but it's going to be Skepanik, and he just scuffs that straight into the wall. Huge waste of a fantastic opportunity. An 1860 player goes down. I mean, can't be in that much discomfort, surely. I mean, there was hardly any pace on the shot. Skepanik again is going to try and unleash his longish throw. I don't think it seems to go far enough to be called a long throw as such. Skepanik unable to find room for the cross. Will he go longer this time, I wonder? Did try to go a bit longer, but still only just reaching the penalty area. I'm not sure he's quite the long throw exponent that Aachen are looking for. Lucas Skepanik with the greatest will in the world. Danhoff tries to find Vollen, but not the best of passes from the right wing back. All headed back across the back line. Skepanik comes inside. Torsiello battling for the ball. Verlaat gets his foot in. Vollen maybe with something to chase here into the channel. Beaten to it by Meyer. They win the ball higher up. Jakobsen again tidying up with Dennis as well, his partner in crime in midfield. Another news around the grounds at the moment. The bottom two in the table after 2 match days. Jan Regensburg at home to Schweinfurt. And Regensburg with a 1-goal lead from the first half, still protecting that in the second period. Schweinfurt at the moment, well, the only team without any points in the division. They're also yet to score a goal. Looking like being a long season ahead. The green and whites. Coutinho just shoved off the ball, trying to make too much of that, told to get up by the referee. Lorch rather manhandling Niederlechner, who looked like he was giving as good as he was getting, to be honest. A little bit of backing in, Lorch doing his best to stand his ground. Coutinho making too much of a meal there. Rightly told just to get on with it. Now Volland in some space on that fast. Oh, nice cut inside. Now the ball comes in, headed away though by De Silva. Danhoff tries to get inside Varga, but has heavy touch there. The 1860 number 2. And a bit sketchy at the back there from Aachen this time. Coutinho it was, getting the ball just outside his 6-yard box. Back to the opponents under all sorts of pressure. 60th minute, here come the 1860 fans. And a big response as well from the Aachen faithful too. So brilliant atmosphere. And while there hasn't really been a golden opportunity for either side in the first hour, a few half chances each. Good luck picking the highlights out of this one. Looking for Niederlechner in behind, intercepted. Jakobsen again winning the ball in midfield, flick on from Volland, but easily snuffed out by Meyer, who finds Coutinho. Coutinho, though, eventually has the ball taken off his toes there by Danhoff. And number 10 just trying to find a bit of space. Former youth international Gianluca Coutinho. Played for Bayern Munich. Quite a few years in Switzerland as well. Sandhausen. Here from Austria at the beginning of last season. He was playing with SV Stripfing. So when he can get on the ball, he can definitely affect the play. Here he is again, dropping deep this time. Lays it off instead. And well, that one far too close to the keeper, no chance for Torsiello. He's done a decent job of leading the line so far in this game, the number 17. Players wanting a bit more from the fans. It has gone a bit quiet in certain areas of the stadium. Throw needing to be taken from the, at least, something like the correct place. Villart gets the ball stuck under his feet for a moment. Cleared along by Dana. Coutinho trying to win the ball back in midfield, tidied up by Deniz instead. Danhoff with the header inside. Niederlechner, though, dispossessed by Coutinho. He then runs into trouble, and 1860 had the ball higher up the pitch, and Niederlechner does a pirouette, goes down. Going to be another yellow card coming out here. And it's the second yellow for Coutinho, and he's off. Aachen down to 10 men. Well, honestly, I felt the first yellow was certainly harsh. Challenge going in on Niederlechner, who certainly made a meal of it. Double yellow card then for Coutinho. Love to see a replay of this. So a couple of the yellow cards have been perhaps a little bit, shall we say, light. wins the ball here, and loses out to Lechner, and then slides in. Is that a yellow card these days? Good grief. Well, I mean, he's on the yellow card, so he has to be careful, Gaudino, but that honestly looked a bit harsh. Anyway, Dennis with the delivery, the keeper comes for it, gets a very decent punch on there. Pfeiffer puts the ball back in, headed across by Haugen, but the flag goes up against the Norwegian. A whole bunch of 1860 players off there. Good discipline from Aachen, pushing out that line as soon as the clearance was made. Very sharp. See Lorch there, sprinting forwards. Well, Haugen wasn't actually offside, but he's headed that then back into Verlat, who certainly was. So what can Aachen do? Down to 10 men then for these last 25 minutes, plus stoppages. Could be about half an hour to play here. Well, they were down to 10 last week with Alemannia Aachen being shown 2 yellow cards. They're down to 10 again this game as well, twice in the opening 3 games. Not the way to start, really. Of course, Gaudino now will be missing from their next match. Away to Rot-Weiss Essen. It's not going to get any easier for them. They then got another game here against Ulm, and then a tricky-looking trip to Verl coming up in their next 3 matches. It's 1860 ring the changes. David Philippe looks like he's coming on. Danhoff going off, and Maximilian Wolfram. So Wolfram, another forward player. There's David Philippe, also usually an attacking midfielder, maybe playing up top. Long throw from Wolfram. His first touch. Verlat with the header. Good clearance at the back post from Skepanik. Lobbed back into the danger area. Verlat just bumped off of it. Sigurd Haugen, by the way, taken off. From 8 goals last season, but hasn't found the back of the net since February. David Philippe, meanwhile, 3 goals last season. Only a sub so far this campaign. Interesting that Patrick Glöckner has taken off the youngest of his 3 strikers there. I wonder if Lieder Lechner and Volland can actually punch out a full 90 minutes or so. Well, I guess we're going to find out after those changes. Still no Patrick Hopsch, by the way, still sat on the bench. A man with 11 goals last season. Pfeiffer nearly dispossessed there by Skepanik. Certainly attacking changes made by 1860. Another yellow card. And Jeremias Lorch, the latest man into the book. I think he knew what he was doing though this time. Interesting that still no changes made by Glöckner. Richter has just dropped a bit deeper. Really unnecessary as well, you have to say. There was no real danger. just made the slightest of contact, and of course, the 1860 player will make a meal of it. Denise, good idea. Not quite the ball that Fulfram was looking for, but he digs out a good cross, and a one-handed punch from the keeper, picked up by Pfeiffer on the edge of the area, winds up, blasts it high and wide. There, the away fans trying to spur on their side. 1860, you say, it's been a pretty even game. Oh, what's the referee given here? What is the referee doing? Niederlechner. So he slid in, won the ball. Judging from the shouts from the crowd here, I've got a feeling he's just given Niederlechner a second yellow card, has he? No, he hasn't. Still can't believe he's given a foul against him, though. That's just never a foul. Anyway, Aachen now with the ball. Can the 10 men cause issues for 1860 at the back? Matty Wagner. Good cross in there at the back post. It's Skepanik, but couldn't quite get enough on it. Did well to get to the ball ahead of Pfeiffer. Oh, liquid first touch there from Philip, and a lovely run as well. And he goes down. Nothing given by the referee this time. Love to see a replay of that though. David Philip bringing that ball down beautifully and then cutting inside two players. Embarrassment of riches they've got up top. Here's another look at the chance a moment ago. Skepanik at the back post, just getting ahead of Pfeiffer. Didn't get quite the contact he needed. Good play from Matty Wagner on this near side. Skepanik just couldn't quite get the contact he wanted. Now, are we going to get some changes from the Potato Beatles? Looks like we are. They might need some fresh legs in these last 20 minutes. Reminder that they've had Gianluca Gaudino sent off for 2 yellow cards. Now then, Volland trying to cut inside. Mayer, though, gets the better of the former Mannschaft player. And the foul goes against Weiber this time. And also a yellow card. A little bit late. Maybe caught the toes. We are now going to have another change. Patrick Hopsch is finally going to get his chance. And it's Niederlechner who's been in the walls a bit. And he's on a yellow card as well. So Niederlechner, well, he scored in his first 2 starts for De Lauw and hasn't scored today. Patrick Hopsch, 11 goals, 5 assists last season. Substitute only so far this campaign. Here's the 30-year-old. Dennis with a nice one into the front post, but Villar will feel he should at least have steered that one on target. 1860 captain. He might just have landed a bit harshly on that left shoulder. Maybe just the side of the neck. Let's have a look here. here do now come the changes, plenty of them as well. Pierre Joby comes on for his debut. Mark Richter coming off in his place, the Togolese midfielder on loan from Magdeburg for the season. Matty Wagner has also been withdrawn, with Cesar Strujic coming in his place. A little bit harder to tell who some of these substitutes are actually for Aachen, with the lack of numbers on the front of the shorts. 15 minutes to go. Tartorciello, the man withdrawn, with Kwasi Wright, man who started last time out, coming on to provide a fresh pair of legs there. Trying to ease Velat off the ball, but too physically for the referee. Kwasi Wright, the number 18, 6 caps for the Black Stars of Ghana back in the day, but not for a good few years now, the 31-year-old. So plenty of fresh legs out there for Aachen, but may well be mostly in a defensive effort this stage of the game. Volland dropping a little bit deeper. Nice ball over the top from Volland. Opportunity, knocks here. Oh, just onto the top of the net. David Philipp has provided a couple of superb touches since coming on, trying to stretch in behind that Aachen defence. Again, lovely first touch, lobbed the keeper. Just a little bit too much on it. But 1860 getting closer against the 10 men of Aachen now. Aachen winning a throw high up the pitch. Strujic, who was the captain last week. In fact, first 2 games he was captain, with the Mika Hanrath still out until after the winter break. He's now taken over the captain's armband. He's going to try and wind up for a long throw from on this left-hand side. Trying to get at least to the 6-yard box. Good throw in. Half-headed away. Skepanik heads the ball up in this air a couple of times. It only falls to Jakobsen. Now then, Philipp eventually dispossessed by Skepanik. Oh, right. Wins the foul there. The challenge coming in from Velat. Over the top, headed away by Wirth. Skepanik picks up the loose ball. Aachen, plenty of men up here. 3 men waiting for the cross in the area. 2 of them at the back post. Strujic is going to pick up the loose ball. Nice first touch from the number 5. Playing back to the keeper, but they can't be in danger while they're in possession here. Aachen. Olszewski goes short to Weber. Space on this near side now. Ademi just being asked to drop a little bit deeper in this second half. Ball eventually prodded out of play by Olchowski. A bit of a waste that from Aachen. Can't be doing that when you're down to 10. Sloppy mistake, and then the foul goes against Volland, I think it was, for the contact with Felix Meyer. Stepanek tries to play that ball into Vreit. Vreit runs into a blue wall. Denis again looking for that space in the corner. Jombe, though, doing well defensively. He's 22 years of age, is the Togolese, German-born. Nice work from Vreit. Vreit trying to get the better of Verlaat, who eventually battles back. Good defensive work here from the 1860 captain. Strujic again with the throw. We saw just previously he can get this as far as the 6-yard box with a good one. Verlaat tangling with Vreit. And eventually another header goes across the edge of the area. Philip lays the ball off this time. Denis. The ball into the centre circle, looks for Dulwich on this near side. I think so, being pushed a little bit further forward now. Wolfram, who's taken up station on the right-hand side of the attack for De Lauwen, gets another touch. Jakobsen. Whistles from the home fans, as you'd expect. 8.5 minutes plus stoppages to go. Wolfram tries to play that in. Well intercepted by De Silva. From in plenty of space on this near side. Time to pick out a cross, finds Verlaat on the edge of the area. Now the shot from the edge of the area, and that goes over the bar, always rising. Manuel Pfeiffer, Austrian midfielder. This was the calls for an Aachen penalty. Looks like there was 6 of one, half dozen of the other there, between Vreit and Verlaat. Olchowski takes a deep breath. Smacks that one clear. Vreit battling for it, wins the throw. Movement there from Stepanek. Got Verlaat for company, and Wolfram manages to win a corner. Well, the last few minutes or so, Aachen, despite being down to 10, giving as good as they're getting. And even if they don't get a first win of the season here today, I think the performance will be something they can take, can really hang on to going into the 4th match day next week. And that rather foreboding trip away to Rot-Weiss Essen. Now Stepanek with the corner. There's the signal. Everyone rushes to the near post. Headed back across there by Lorch. Verlaat thought about going down looking for a free kick, but instead the header over the back, and now an opportunity knocks here. Now where's the support? Support eventually turning up, but the ball is in behind Kevin Volland. Jakobsen picks it up instead. Well blocked though by Ademi. Oh, that's going to be a yellow card for Ademi. 19-year-old impetuosity, you feel. Well, Jakobsen certainly wasn't going anywhere, was he? Bit silly giving that one away when your opponent's got his back to goal. Denis with the delivery. Couldn't quite find his captain in the 6-yard box melee. Dana back out to Denis again. Lots of blue shirts still up there. Slide rule pass goes straight through the defence, through the penalty area, and out for a goal kick. 5 minutes to go then, still goalless here between Alemannia Aachen and 1860 Munich. Tonight Denis then looks like he's about to be withdrawn. Or is that a Dame? Sorry, it's a Dame, isn't it? No, it is Denis. Max Christensen, very much a like-for-like replacement. The 28-year-old in the just a fresh pair of legs, I think, for the end of the game. That's Kylian Jakob, beg your pardon, who's come on as well after his move from Erzgebirge in the summer. Third substitute of the season so far, and certainly Aachen with an opportunity here. The ball spread out to that right-hand side. Oh, and just a slightly tired touch. Now then, has Hopsch managed to keep himself onside here? Good defensive work, and then the foul goes against Hopsch. Damie, the man to go down. I don't think anyone's believing him, are they? I really don't see how that's a foul. Didn't look like there was any contact. He just looked like he tripped over and threw himself to the floor. There's Manuel Pfeiffer that's been taken off for Jakob. So a like-for-like change there. Jakob, 27 years of age. Actually an 1860 youth player with 80 back in the day, before wandering off to play for Augsburg. One appearance in the Bundesliga there. Good defensive play there from Jakob, by the way. And the last 2 seasons with Erzgebirge, 4 goals, 3 assists last term. Damie eventually gets to his feet, but he's going to have to go off the pitch before coming back on. He'll have to be wait to be invited back onto the pitch. Those are the rules. Goal kick just goes straight through. Of course, with his team down to 10 men, Damie knew he needed to get back on the pitch as quickly as possible. Movement up top, not spotted by the 1860 midfield. More movement, ignored. From puts the ball inside. Philip looked very sharp since coming on, the number 8. Now the ball into the area, turn from Volland, couldn't quite get the shot away, and there's the opener. Patrick Hopsch, starting on the bench for the 3rd game in a row this season, but he's come off that bench to find what could well be the winner here. First goal of the season for Hopsch. The assist, I think, will go to Volland. Sharp ball in from Jakobsen. There was the turn from Volland. Couldn't quite find room for the shot. Brilliant finish though from Patrick Hopch, picking up the ball just on the edge of the area. Anticipation key here. Getting there ahead of De Silva. That should put 1860. Could well put them top of the table actually. Have to double check. As things stand. In fact, they'd be just behind Hoffenheim on goal difference. Hoffenheim 4-1 up at Enniki Cottbus now, by the way. Still, and Regensburg 3-0 up against Schweinfurt, and goalless between Osnabrück and Saarbrücken. Still 1-1 as well between Stuttgart 2 and Wörl. To Hoffenheim, and 1860 leading the way at the top of the table, and that's great first touch here. Is this going to be 2-0? Yes, it is. Well, tough on Aachen, really. They've given as good as they've gotten throughout most of the match. And all of a sudden, 2 minutes, 2 goals for De Lauwen. David Philippe, who's been very sharp since coming on. Perhaps deserving of this. Again, brilliant first touch. Took his time, set himself, slight deflection of a Felix Meyer. Wouldn't have helped the goalkeeper. Ball looping over his despairing dive. And that really is game over now for Aachen. 3 points in the pocket for De Lauwen. Both goals coming from offensive substitutes, by the way. Just shows the strength in depth of that 1860 bench at the moment. Manuel Alequa has been brought on as well, just in time to pick up his first booking in Aachen colours. Just flailing a bit with an arm there as he went to challenge Jakobsen. Some of the home fans deciding to beat the rush. I'm going to say 2 down with, 3 minutes of stoppage time to play. The writing very much on the wall there in the Werner Fuchs tribune. I've got to say, on the balance of play throughout the match, pretty harsh on Aachen. Even since the sending off, they've created some opportunities as well. Hopch there, this time winning the foul. Yeah, Damie standing up for himself afterwards as well. Ball over the top nicely, brought down by Alequa. Summer signing from Victoria Berlin. 18 starts in the 4th tier last season, 3 goals, 2 assists there. Made his debut in the last game before the cup break. Now can Aachen get a little something in the latter stages here, as to ease the pain of a second consecutive home loss. That's the thing that's really going to hurt them. 2 home games, 2 losses. The 2 losses against what appear to be 2 of the stronger teams in the division so far this season. Skepanik now inside. Alequa. The ball turned behind by Verlaat. No nonsense from the 1860 captain. potato beetle balls there on the edge of the pitch. Just bundled up bits of paper, don't worry. Giving in to the near post, but manages to avoid everyone with that. Goes straight out for a throw-in on the other side of the pitch. Another wasted set piece. Not the first, it has to be said, from Aachen in this game. .60 now. I think we'll just sit back and just make sure that clock continues to tick down. We can take 3 points back to Bavaria with them this afternoon. But maybe a chance on the counter-attack here. Space suddenly opening up on that left-hand side. Phillips up there as well. Instead, the cross comes into the back post, but it's just behind everyone. Wolfram unable to keep that in play. I think that's going to be pretty much that, you know. Who knows what this game might have turned out like without the second yellow card shown to Gianluca Gaudino. Certainly 1860, the better side since that sending off in the 64th minute. But is that how things would have played out? Gaudino really the most influential of the Aachen midfielders. But in the end, though, it's finished 2-0 here to 1860 Munich. Well, they kept at it. Arguably second best up until the 64th minute sending off of Gianluca Gaudino. That turned the game into Lauen's favour. And in the end, it was the substitutes bench that came up trumps. Patrick Hopsch pouncing in the 89th minute to put 1860 in the lead, having started on the bench. And his fellow bench warmer David Philippe also coming into play in the first minute of stoppage time to make it 2-0 with a fine finish. No way back from there for Alemannia Aachen. They remain on just a single point this season. 1860 Munich, though, 7 points from 9 and flying after match day 3 in the German Dritte Liga. The finish is here, Alemannia Aachen 0, 1860 Munich 2.